Hello, my Fireflies, and welcome back to the Cyan Firefly. It's me, Lyiat.
And Azilie.
And today we are going to take a closer look at the character creation for the Neverwinter Beta. Now, we did do a little bit about this in our previous video, the
first impressions.
Yeah, the first impressions, but now we're actually going to take a much closer look at it. We're going to bring you through the odds and ends, and it should be fun.
Think of it as the sparkles have been removed, and now we're going to get right down to the nitty-gritty.
Yes. So as you can see, we've already made a selection of characters. Worked hard on all of these. Not really, I just used most of the defaults. But,
Oh. Ren's mine. I've been putzing around on
yes.
the game for it.
But, alright, so we're going to go into Dragon, and we're going to make a new character. Alright, as you can see, you can pick male and female, which is pretty obvious. That should be standard in any MMO. And you can select race. Now, there doesn't really seem to be any difference between male and female as far as abilities go, which is good, because that would cause all sorts of problems. But currently there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 races available for selection. Now, it has been confirmed through the questioning of the devs that there is going to be 8 races on release, and there is currently only one further announced, which was the Drow.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what the 8th race is, unless they're counting the Renegade among them.
I'm kind of hoping they're not, because Renegade would make more sense of being...
Well, Renegade is an exclusive race, so it would kind of be a kick to the gut if they were counting it.
Yeah, I would think that's... Renegade would be like a class type.
Well,
versus it being a race?
It looks like it's going to be a full race type, but that's something else entirely.
I really hope not.
Now,
I really hope not. It'd be cooler if we could see the Dragonborn as its own race.
Yes, but that's the thing. I'm not sure if it's an exclusive race or if they're counting it among the 8. That means we could see Dragonborn, we could see Eladrin, we could see Ganassi. So look forward to that. That'll be really cool when they finally do the announcements on that. Now, which race should we bring them through?
Let's do the Halfling. We haven't done anything for the Halflings yet.
Okay, so Halflings. Halflings are a small race known for their resourcefulness, quick wits, and steady nerves. They are nomadic folk who roam waterway and marshlands. No people travel farther or see more of what happens in the world than Halflings, as opposed to hobbits. Yes, Halflings.
No, we're not naming him Frodo.
Well, an interesting thing about D&D is they seem to go the complete opposite way with Halflings rather than Tolkien's hobbits.
Right, Halflings are adventurous. They're sneaky.
They're more like the Tooks.
Yeah.
Specifically, it's as if all the Halflings in D&D specifically came from the Tooks. Alright, so Halflings get nimble reaction. Your small stature and quick movements gain 3% chance to deflect incoming attacks. So that's pretty good for defense. So they could be fighters. They got +2 to dexterity, +2 to charisma, or +2 to constitution. So that
Which makes them good for thieves.
Well,
or,
they have a decent dexterity and a decent constitution, so that would put them actually rather decent for great weapon fighters. So that's pretty interesting. Then bold, your fearless nature increases your resistance to crowd control effects by 10%. Again, a really good fighter feat. So it actually looks like Halflings are going to be very good fighters. As far as Dwarves go, you have increased resistance to knock and repel effects, Constitution, Strength, or Wisdom, and you have increased damage resistance to damage over time effects. They actually look like they'd be better paladins when they ever decide to make the paladin class. The paladin class currently has not been announced. But it actually looks like Halflings would be pretty decent fighters. That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that. They're much better rogues in classic D&D, which I guess because dexterity and charisma, they would make for a decent rogue.
Yeah.
Alright, so classes here.
Okay, obviously we have our class selection. There's only 3 available out of the 4?
Yes, there's going to be 5 at start. the new class is the Devoted Cleric.
Right.
The other two classes that aren't listed here, here is Trickster Rogue, Devoted Cleric, there is Guardian Fighter. The current classes that are missing are Great Weapon Fighter and Control Wizard. Now, knowing what we know of the classes, there at the very least should be a new Rogue class soon after release, Brawny Rogue. And there should be a new Cleric class. That one I do not know of. And there should be a new Wizard class, which is War Mage, I believe.
So they're definitely taking from the Neverwinter campaign book.
Clearly, because that's what these other ones are from.
Well, right, but it's definitely they're not restricting it to just these.
Yes.
What's going to be coming out? They're actually going to be looking into the 4.0 and going, okay.
Yes.
There are 2 types of rogues. There are 2 types of this.
Yes,
2 types of
they
that.
very much should be making the rest of those classes. We also should see such things like Paladin, all that very fun stuff, Rangers. But yeah, we did talk to the devs quite a bit, and they have confirmed that they will be working round the clock on classes.
That's
so
very
we will
good
see
to know.
a whole lot more. We will also see a lot of races.
Okay,
We're just speculating on starting stuff for right now.
Right.
All right.
So, choosing Rogue for the moment.
Alright, so this is the Rogue screen. Now, since Dexterity is our primary, we can't swap it, but we can swap our bonus between Constitution and Charisma. Considering that we're playing a Rogue, Charisma is a secondary ability for us, so we want to make sure that it's on Charisma rather than Constitution.
Right. Now, when it says we can re-roll the stats, but if you actually look at it...
It's actually only...
re-rolling 3.
Yeah, it's only re-rolling Charisma and Wisdom, and this is true with all classes.
Well, it was also re-rolling, Dexterity.
Yeah. But there's only a couple of re-rolls. It's not completely random, it's just a small selection. So you will eventually see it cycle through. It looks like Devout Cleric has the widest range of different attributes.
Yeah.
But it eventually does cycle through. Alright, so we're back on Trickster.
I guess I can understand why they're doing that, though, because they want to make sure that everybody has a fair chance.
I think they're trying to discourage attribute twinking.
Yeah.
Rather than allowing you to have complete custom stats. It's kind of disappointing, but I see why they're doing it. Alright,
From a mechanic standpoint, it would make sense, especially for, like...
So, head shape. We can have his lips drawn back into a snarl. Awkward as that looks, his teeth are black. You must not brush.
I think that might just be the shadowing.
It might be. Alright, but we can do all sorts of things for head shape. I like that. That works. There are all sorts of hair designs.
Okay, Mr. T.
I pity the orc!
Oh my god, no.
You can do a little...
Skrillex!
Yeah, you can do a Skrillex emo kind of look.
Oh, I should treat myself for knowing anything about Skrillex. Oh, I like that one! I like that one.
That's actually pretty nice for a halfling. Do various different eye types, including eye glow. Not entirely sure why he has eye glow. It might be to indicate a, maybe a, spell scarred.
Maybe.
Alright, you can do natural, you can do blind. Blind right, blind left. Hurt. Oh, it looks like he's got,
oh,
what's
crap.
that phrase? Broken blood vessel in his eye.
Yeah, and then you can alternate it on the right and then the left as well.
Yeah.
I think if you chose
do natural
the glow...
and then pick colors.
Yeah, I think if you do the glow, that's...
I think that's to indicate spell scarred.
I know, but I'm...
It looks
I
like...
can't tell if the glow is what the color is, or if you're actually choosing the eye color when you choose the color. I can't...
I don't know.
I can't tell.
It's a little small. These are also very minor details that I doubt you will ever be looking at on your character
Oh my
again.
god, give him epic eyebrows.
Epic eyebrows, okay.
Yes.
But that is an option. It looks like they've only got one option for facial hair, which is the mutton chops, which just turned white for absolutely no reason.
Oh, we can re-choose the color.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go, now it matches.
Alright.
What?
Why is that a complexion?
I don't know. That's very disturbing.
I mean, the fact that you can choose it is okay, but that's very strange. Suddenly his face is very white. It's very glowy. Weathered. Rough and old. Doesn't look like there's actually a young choice for complexion. Let's go with weathered.
We can change the color on it, too.
Horns. You cannot
only available
customize the
for,
horns of male members of the halfling race, so I'm assuming that's exclusively for tieflings.
Yeah.
Okay, then there are tattoos.
It might be best if we choose a different color so it's easier to see them.
Yes. Let's just go with black for right now. Alright, so there are quite a few tattoos that are actually based off of gods, so that's kind of cool.
They're not race
brands.
Exclusive, so these are all
Gothic.
the same tattoos that you'll see throughout all of the races.
Grey Wolf. Some of these tattoos are actually from the classic Neverwinter game, if I remember correctly. High Sun. The Rotting. It's interesting.
That's interesting.
Two-Face. Tree Ghost. The Melting. Alright, cool, cool. Let's go with Cyric, because I like that one. That's a cool one. Then you can go with all sorts of scars. We've started off with a scar, but we can change it as much as we want. For instance, we can get one cut across his face, across his eye, on the cheek. Oop. Let's go with a nose cut. Perhaps.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Alright, then we have face scaling, which is all sorts of things I really do not want to mess with. But yes, you can change the head size, you can change the eyebrow height, the eye spacing, all the in-depth customization options you get from other games.
Yep.
You also have body shape, which is, you know, halfling heavy, halfling slim. Wow, he looks weird like that. Let's just go with the default. And then body scaling, again, all the in-depth stuff you get in other RPGs.
Yeah. Which I think is really nice considering...
You can also hide the armor, which is something worth noting.
Yeah. I just think that having all of these options is something really nice for a free MMO.
Yes.
That
is very
really
interesting
impressive.
for a free MMO. They generally do not let you go into such depth with other games, but then again, this is Cryptic Games, and they have actually been pretty good with their character customization options.
Yeah.
So, there we are. Alright, and then we go to continue.
Now, this section we got a little starry-eyed over. It was very interesting.
Now, this is really cool. It is really awesome. The problem with it is this little thing up here. Each selection is for flavor and has no effect on gameplay. That is significantly disappointing and kind of soul-crushing for me. I had expected that these selections would actually have an impact on your storyline and stuff like that.
Right.
But in reality, no. It doesn't change the game whatsoever. It doesn't give you access to exclusive perks or anything.
Yeah.
I
guess it's more for those people who like role-playing in game, and I'm like, for me, that's one thing that I could never understand how you would do that in an MMO. I really don't understand how you do it.
The thing is, the idea that, you know, behind this that got me really excited is that over the editions of 4.0, they introduced something called themes, which you could select a background for your character, and it would give you certain perks. It would give you certain encounter powers or daily powers or class features as a part of your theme.
Right.
I thought that choosing one of these would actually do something like that. It doesn't.
It's fluff.
Yeah.
All this is fluff.
Which is exceedingly disappointing. It's good for the RPers.
It definitely gives them something.
It's also good for people who kind of like to privately roleplay in their head. They like to create a background for their character, even though they're not going to roleplay.
Yeah.
But really, this doesn't matter whatsoever. Let's see. Worldly Swashbuckler. Because, again, it doesn't really matter. Another thing that I also find disappointing is this is a nice selection of gods. It's pretty cool that they included all these gods. There are no evil gods here.
Yeah, they're only the good
I have
ones.
a Cyric tattoo, and I can't pick Cyric.
Yeah.
So, again, not really cool. They should widen this selection quite a bit. And it doesn't look like it'd be hard whatsoever for them to widen the selection. You know, especially if they give you a tattoo dedicated to Cyric, they should let you pick Cyric. Because why else would you take a Cyric tattoo on your face?
Right.
You know...
It looked cool.
Yeah, I mean... Oh, well.
In D&D, you'd never pick something that wasn't relevant to your character. At least most tabletop gamers don't do that.
Also, why can't you not worship a god? That's another question. Because that's always been a possibility. I mean, yes, it is D&D. You technically have to acknowledge the existence of gods, but why do you have to worship one?
Most of my characters actually never worship a god. They acknowledge the existence of him, but
there's been plenty of characters in D&D lore that don't actually directly worship deities. They just don't like them. They're god haters. There are even some people who worship primordials because the primordials are coming back.
Right.
So why can't I not worship a deity? Not to mention that there are obviously going to be people who are atheists who play this game who are not going to want to get into the whole god thing either. So,
or just people who are simply agnostic.
So it's just
like
just a matter of
characters.
You know, it's a matter of flavor. It's why can't I choose not to worship a deity for the sake of my character? Again, it doesn't really have an impact on the game, but why can't they do that?
It's that background fluff that really makes playing it interesting, though. Even if you're not role playing it.
On the flip side of things, why can't I say my character doesn't worship any single deity? He acknowledges all of them and worships all of them equally. Again, why can't I do that? So. There
Cryptic,
you go.
get on this.
But, alright, so let's go with, I don't know, Sylvanas. Let's say our character likes forest for some reason. Alright, and then you can type yourself up a nice biography.
Which has always been classic when it comes to D&D.
You've always been able to come up with your own background. I know a lot of this stuff was in Neverwinter. Some of it actually had an impact. Other parts of it didn't.
Yeah.
But you could create your own biography. People who click on you can check it and they can read it. You can randomize a name or you can come up with your own. Ben Steel Farmer, because why not? And then you begin your adventure. You start off at level 1. And that's the character creation in a nutshell. It is pretty fun. It's fairly in-depth, but it's also not as in-depth as I would have liked it to be. So there you go. I do hope you guys have enjoyed this little walkthrough. But for now, this has been Lyiat
and Azilie
with the Cyan Firefly, and we shall see you all next time. Farewell, Fireflies.
See ya.